Let me start running my mouth. Let's go ahead and watch this presentation video. See what they talking about. they be gatekeeping a little tail off and be lying. And people's face act like they don't. But you know, y'all ain't hear it from me though. Y'all ain't hear it from me. I'm just saying. Hell, they not slick. They not slick. Yeah, despite the analytics, it do make you feel like you're running in place.
It do. To talk about the newest addition to our
Can y'all hear it?
lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience.
I just want to know if I can trade mine in
2020. It brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second. PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore. Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds and data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
You okay? I'm working on it!
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game. It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering.
I'm not gonna lie, especially for games like Wukong,
enhanced detail or use
I was
more ray
raising my
tracing.
butt off because of the frames.
But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to...
I just gotta point this out. Y'all know how like the rando people be when I play certain games. I can tell when my frames is like out of whack playing certain games. Like I know for a fact it happened recently when I was on Wukong. Hey, look, I'm talking with my hands now because literally PlayStation just admitted, bro, from their own mouths, they just admitted that some games only run at 30 frames. So if that means if the game was made or intended to run at 60 frames, you can feel it immediately when the frames drop. Okay? It might not happen to everybody, but every console is also slightly different. Some consoles come with defects or lack certain things, even though it's made to be the same. Hardware wears and tear over time. So, with that being said, I know what the freak I be talking about when I be playing these games. All right, back to it.
To run 60 frames per second. Mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3. First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5. And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the Big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail.
Yo, what's up, Bluefield?
Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore...
Bruh, you could tell the frame...
This goal of delivering almost
I'm just feeling myself right now, because people be looking at me like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. I'm trying, those frames is dropping, bruh. Ooh, that got me amped up right now.
And Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, we can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars.
That's crazy.
So overall, some remarkable.
It's way clearer.
On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the
I don't know how they got, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
This is
they really did kind of
machine learning.
They did kind of finesse us with the PS5.
Is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU
they need to go ahead and let people trade big. I'll be willing to maybe pay another $200 for it, but nah, let's trade in. They better give us a trade in offer.
To lighting and visual effects.
This some BS, bro.
As well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference. Allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro. Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
You'll never
Don't let me hang.
Close your eyes. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
Did I do it? Oh, what is this? What's with all the neon?
Bro, the new Assassin's Creed ain't even out yet. Like, what? They had to throw that in there. Bruh. Ew. I never finished Hogwarts. I'm going back. I'm playing. I'm gonna re-download that game and beat it. I really missed out finishing that game. Calling myself being respectful to everybody that was angry at the time when it dropped. $700 is crazy though. That's crazy. And I'm only saying that because we already spent $500 on the PS5. Like, what's the trade-in offer for this? Let me investigate real fast. Hold on. I don't know. That's the other issue too is when the PS5 dropped, everybody couldn't even get their hands on it. If people do what they did with the PS5 and they buy it, they're gonna resell it at $1,000, bruh. Actually, probably more than that. Cause they high key when the PS5 came out, people was making about $1,000 off of that. This gonna be at least a good $1,500 and up. That's crazy. Oh, I know people pissed. Oh, I know people mad for buying a PS5. Oh, I know they mad, bro. Oh, I know they hot. Oh, they hot. Let me go to Twitter real quick. What they saying on Twitter about? Let me go be nosy real quick. Hold on. What people saying, bro? Because I know they mad. Hold on. PS5 Pro. Of course, there's always that one, bro. Trying real hard to see the difference between PS5 and PS5 Pro graphics. Get out of here. Anybody buying a PS4 Pro is an idiot. Yeah, he mad. He spent about $1,000 on a PS5. He hot. Nah, they mad, bro. They mad. The PS5 Pro being $700 is one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. Reminds me of this beautiful snapshot. Nah, 700 is it's a lot, but I'm only saying that because yeah. If this a console, but it also depends on how long they decide to have this in rotation. Like, what's the lifespan of the PS5 in general going to be? Because y'all know they gonna have to drop like a new a different console. So is this gonna be the console that kind of like just lasts for like the next 10-15 years, or are they gonna drop a different one? Because if that's the case, I could just keep the one I got and then just wait. And just literally wait for like the actual new one. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, PS5 games is made to run on PS5. So, I don't know, man. I feel like they could have, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like they could have waited. Yeah, they probably should have waited. I mean, like, they're hitting a certain audience, okay? They're offering this to people that want to play on better graphics with ray tracing, higher frames, all that. I get that. So they're hitting a certain audience to sell it. I don't think their intention is to try to sell it to everybody. So if people mad about the price or whatever, like truth be told, PS5 games still run pretty good. They still look good. You know what I'm saying? Since I already have a PS5, I just don't feel like it's no point for me to try to get it. If there's a potential that in the next 5-10 years that a whole new entire console is going to drop anyway. Soon as Wolverine drop, I'll get the PS5 Pro. I mean, it's going to go, like the thing too, if you already got a PS5, you're good. All you got to do is wait like a few years and wait for them to mark the price down. The price is going to go down eventually at some point. So it's like, but what's up, cuz? My bad. You said probably like 130, 150 tops for a trade-in. Probably. I mean, I feel like a lot of these corporations, they can afford it, but it also depends on how many people are trying to trade it in. Market value might go down, depending, like